Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm reviewing 1917. So 1917 was probably my most anticipated film of the year. Once I saw that original trailer drop and hearing that Roger Deakins was going to be taking a almost one-take style approach for the entire film, I was just so intrigued to see how he was going to pull that off. And the combination of Sam Mendes' direction and Roger Deakins' cinematography is something that is really almost awe-inspiring in this film. When I was watching it, and it's just continually looking like one long shot, and they're able to hide those cuts so well, and they're able to use the lapse in time so well to make you just stick with these two characters. I've never felt more connected to a character on screen, I think, than in this film. Following Lance Corporal Schofield and Lance Corporal Blake, you are just in the trenches with these young men. You are seeing what life would be like for someone during World War I, just the horrific conditions, just fighting for every little inch of the battlefield. And I don't think I've ever seen a film that has encapsulated that intensity and that tension of war, especially during World War I, so well. In this film, these two young men are tasked with delivering a message, crossing over what they believe would be enemy lines, trying to get to another unit and tell them about an attack that is going to lead to horrific casualties and that the Germans are waiting for them. And just their journey across these war-torn set pieces is something that it's just really an accomplishment in filmmaking this year. All the sets felt so real and so tangible. I know this film was filmed in Scotland and it's supposed to be taking place in France, but they really captured that look of the French countryside and just the dim, bleak atmosphere that surrounds this war. And the fact that this movie is filmed in this one-take style, you are seeing some really, really interesting shots that I feel like you wouldn't get otherwise. There's a lot of moments where you're tracking these young men, and one is walking in a certain direction, one is walking another direction. There's actually a scene that involves a farmhouse fairly early on in the film, and you have a shot through a window while you're on the foreground with one character, the other one's outside the barn, and you're constantly moving back and forth. And having these little intricate shots from a different point of view is something that I think really adds to the film. I was kind of interested to see if the one-take style was going to feel gimmicky, it was going to really take you out of the movie maybe a little bit. But for me, it made me that much more invested in the film, and it builds a tension. It's a constant tension that is building in this film while you're following these two and going through the events that they deal with. One scene in particular that I really want to talk about, that it's something that I feel you couldn't have gotten without filming this way, without giving up too much details. I really think it's a movie you should check out, and I don't want to spoil anything in this review, but there is a scene where a character goes through a fairly traumatic event, and he is sitting in a truck with a bunch of other soldiers, and you're seeing his face and you know what he's been through. And you wouldn't have that understanding of what he's going through unless you have been there with him throughout this entire journey with no cuts, following what happened to him. And having all the other characters, around talking, having a good time, joking, and him sitting there having a major horrible life event happen to him. Just that whole feeling is something I feel like I've never been able to have encapsulate in a film in the way that they did with this one. As for the performances, George McKay, who plays Lance Corporal Schofield, he just knocked it out of the park. I have not really seen him in anything else, but this whole movie, he goes through so many things and so many emotions and just the real horrors of war and seeing the ups and downs of humanity over the course of just a day or two. They were able to pull this off so well. You would think with it having not a real narrative thread, and that's something that maybe people wouldn't love about this movie. You do not have like a traditional narrative, and it being all like one long shot. You don't have those breaks and builds and tension, the rises and falls. You have a constant building and a constant pushing of this man trying to accomplish his mission, and he just totally nails this character. His interaction with all the other characters in the film really builds who he is as a person during his own personal journey. And I have to say, all the supporting actors did a great job. While that being said, a lot of them don't have a lot of screen time. It mainly focuses around the two young Lance Corporals. But when he interacts with his superiors or other soldiers in the field, you get a whole new sense of what he's dealing with, because you're on his personal journey with him. So you're almost having these interactions alongside of him. I honestly think this movie, I don't like to say it a lot, but it's really a masterpiece. And it's just really a testament to what you can do when you want to be original when it comes to cinematography or script writing, because I think that Sam Mendes and Roger Deakins just knocked it out of the park with this one. Also, the score of the film is extremely well done. This movie thrives on atmosphere. You are really just in these situations with the characters, and that score is helping build the situation or the understanding of what's going on. Because like I said, There's no real narration. It's not telling you what's going on. You're just following them, and having the score build at dramatic swells in moments, have almost like a lighthearted moment during peace and calm. It really helps to create the overall atmosphere. So all this being said, I honestly cannot find a major fault with this movie. I think that it is a great movie. I think it's definitely one of the best of the year, and I have to give it a 10 out of 10. I feel like I've been doing that more than I normally would, but this movie is so exceptional in my opinion. I'm interested to see what general audiences think about it, because it is something, as someone who enjoys watching movies, you just love the filmmaking aspect of it. You love the idea of the cinematography behind the way they shot this movie. Seeing the behind the scenes makes it that much more interesting. So let me know, if you are checking out 1917, are you excited for it? If you've already saw it, what do you think about it? Definitely recommend it. If you are someone who enjoys something like The Revenant meets Dunkirk and just making it all one take, just that whole style of it, I have to say, I can't say enough about how much I enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you next time.